these spectacles. You presume that they're glass, like spectacles we have today. They're not. They are from gemstones. They are an extraordinary and unique piece of history. These remarkable spectacles come from the High Mughal period. During the 18th century and the late 17th century, the Mughals were the world's great commercial superpower, associated with sort of pleasure and harems and fountains and domes. What really sets these objects apart is the lenses themselves. That's the heart of the object. Made from gemstones. And they're not cut so much as cleaved. This is the work of a supreme master, both of gemstones and of optics. This is a slice of diamond and a slice of emerald, through which you can see they were definitely created to be worn. When these lenses were commissioned, the owner was taking an extraordinary risk, because the original diamond, which was split to create the diamond spectacles, must have been between 200 and 300 carats. The emerald returns the world into this wonderful green world. And if you're a Muslim and you associate green with the Prophet, with paradise, with salvation, with eternity, this is like sort of entering paradise. The emerald comes from Colombia. So it was brought by the Spanish or the Portuguese to Europe, and from Europe would have found its way to Goa. The diamond is clearly a Golconda diamond. And people talk about the Golconda diamond mines. In fact, they weren't mines. They were alluvial deposits. In fact, it was a scene much more like the American gold rush, because people panned for diamonds. And usually they were tiny, but very, very, very occasionally you'd get something the size of a hen's egg. And India was famous. This was the only place that diamonds were known in antiquity and in the Middle Ages. Also very fascinating is the frame, which is much later. It's probably 19th century, with all these wonderful inlaid cut diamonds. That represents, in a sense, a different aesthetic and a different moment in the history of gems and the appreciation of gems. Probably Indian, probably 19th century, and wonderfully over the top. There's been a great deal of study of these spectacles by specialists, and it's obviously a highly technical field, but the high probability is that this comes from the High Mughal period, so the reigns of Jahangir, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. Jahangir and Shah Jahan in particular were huge connoisseurs of gems. Jahangir introduced a new Nowruz festival when all the nobles were meant to present as New Year presents gems to him, which was effectively a form of taxation. They were expected to give the best they had. They had this extraordinary connoisseurship, and Jahangir talks with great admiration about how his son, who in other spheres he disapproved of in various ways, had this extraordinary ability to spot a stone. The Mughals made a huge point of gems and art being a part of their self-presentation to the world. This was almost who they were. They were these incredibly sophisticated collectors and aesthetes. All these things, in a sense, are represented by these two extraordinary spectacles.